Hi, today I'm going to make a local soup. We call it Bito if you're from the Upper East, or Biire if you're from the Upper West. I don't know how it's called in the northern region. But this soup, you will need the fresh leaves or the dry leaves. The plant Biire is a hibiscus plant. So when it's fresh, the leaves are green. They have different varieties. For those who do not have the Biire, this is how the Biire or Bito looks like. There are different varieties. This is Biire and this is Bito. So they are different, but they are similar. When they are matured, you harvest the hibiscus plant, and then the greens, you harvest them as time goes around, and then you dry them. And when they are dried, you store them and use them for later use. So having said that, those who do not have this dry African leaf shouldn't be worried. In place of that, one can use dried parsley flakes or fresh parsley. And this is how the fresh parsley looks like. So all I did to this was to try to take out the leafy parts of the parsley. So you do it. This is kind of a lot of work to do, but it's all worth it at the end. So after you take off the leaves, then you cut them into smaller pieces to get this. So you have 2 cups of dry parsley flakes and about 2 cups of freshly cut parsley flakes. For this soup, you need some peanut butter. You can either use the creamy peanut butter or the crunchy one, but traditionally you use raw peanuts that you pound and then sieve to get smaller pieces before you use it. But using the peanut butter is equally fine. I would advise that if you're using the peanut butter, you use the 100% natural peanut butter. If you do not have the natural peanut butter, you can just buy roasted peanuts or raw peanuts. Put about a cup into a blender and add ½ cup of water, blend it and use it to cook. So the other ingredients that normally goes with this soup is fresh tomatoes. This 1 cup, sorry, and then you have ½ cup of any cut up onion. I like to use Himalayan salts these days, and then I have seasoning salts. You do not have to mix the salts if you do not want it, but I just like the combination of salts sometimes. And you have chili, red cayenne pepper. You can use chili pepper if you want, and you can use any meat of your choice. In this, I have some pieces of fresh meat. I'll be turning this on high, and I'll be seasoning it with a little bit of the seasoning salt here. So the amount of soup you get depends on how much water you put in or how much vegetables that you have. Then I'll add a little bit of the Himalayan salt. This is just to help season up the meat. Into that I'll add all the onion. I will cover this and then bring it to a boil. I'm parboiling it, and with the parboiling procedure, you just add a little water, some seasonings, and let the meat cook so that the seasonings can get into the meat. So when I'm done parboiling, I'll show you the rest of the process of making the Biire soup or Bito. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes. I have extra cups of water here. That's about 2 cups of water. I would add more water as time goes, but there are various ways that you can cook this. I will add my tomato. I could have added the cut up tomato when I was eyeballing the meat, but any way you do, the soup will still turn out great. So I'll pour in all my dried parsley flakes. It looks like I might need some more water. And some people like the soup a bit chunky, but I'll be adding about 2 extra cups of water to this. I'll start off with 1 cup. It's a great idea to start off with 1 cup, and then you see how it it turns out before you can add more water. So I'm adding in all the freshly cut parsley here. I'll stir this around. If you had the pounded peanuts, then you can put it at this stage. But some people also prefer to add the peanuts to the meat, stir it till it's smooth before they add their veggies. Whatever method you use, remember the soup is going to be cooking for a while, and all the peanut is going to dissolve. So I'll try to scoop in about a cup of smooth peanut butter here. If you want a combination of the raw peanuts with this soup and the smooth peanut butter, that should be fine. I'll stir it a little bit around. It's going to be okay when it starts boiling, and you can smell it already. So it's a great idea to let this cook for a while before you see if there's any need to add more water. So I'm going to cover this halfway to prevent spilling. But the other route that you can use, if you do not have this, do not bother. This is called dawa dawa, or the African locust bean, botanical name Parsley biglobosa. If you do not have this, do not worry. It smells really bad, trust me. But it sends the taste of any cuisine to a whole new level. So this is got, you make this by fermenting the seeds of the African locust bean or the dawa dawa seed, and then you process it to get this. So if you want, you can put this in whole. It's a matter of preference and your choice. So, but I like to grind it just a little bit. So I'm going to put it in this special utensil here. If you do not have this utensil, you can use your blender to do it. Mostly it's pounded with some dried fish or shrimp. I decided not to add that. So if you do not want to use this, you are equally fine to leave your soup as it is, and it will be okay. So I'm going to pour this to give it that unique taste and smell. And since you're using the granite paste, it's a great idea to try to work on the paste to dissolve it very fast. So if you like your soup with more peanuts or peanut butter, then you put in some more. So I'll stir all this around and then taste it to see. So this consistency is okay, but some like it lighter. So if you like it lighter, then you would have to put in a little more water, about half a cup of water. So I'm going to taste this. Man, it tastes really great. So it looks like it needs a little more salt, which I'm going to be adding here. You can add ground habanero pepper if you want, or any chili flakes. I'm going to be adding some cayenne pepper, red cayenne pepper. Do not add as much as this. It's kind of spicy sometimes. And since the meat was parboiled, it cooked very fast, so the meat is already well cooked, but I'll still let it cook some more. So as you can see with this soup, if you have a lean meat, you have no issues with oil. I'm not using any oils to make this soup, as the oil from the peanut butter is going to come out at the end of the cooking. So I'll let this cook for an additional 20 minutes or 30, depending on how hard your meat is. But my meat is not very hard, so the cook time is definitely going to reduce. So I'm going to lower the heat and let this cook. There you have the finished product. Bito soup or Biire soup, depending on where you come from in Ghana. Bito soup in the Upper East region and Biire soup in the Upper West regions. So you have the finished product. It's really very tasty. This soup goes well with the Tuozafe and Sema or TZ video that I have on my channel. But this can be eaten with rice and potatoes. For those who do not, who are